Alrighty then, it's time for a Warwick game. Let's get this show on the road. Voice check one. Yeah, this one's still kind of a broken replay, so this one's very janky. But a lot of people were wanting me to upload this one since I kept referring to it that I had some games with some weird champions that were not even streamed. I had several that, I decided after a really bad stream session of just pure losses, you know what? I'm gonna rage play solo queue by myself and full on concentrate on it, so I don't have to attempt to be entertaining or anything. And Warwick was one of those games, so you'll see me kind of just pretty much troll this Hecarim, just get my double buffs, and Hecarim's one of the easiest champions to invade, so I just put a word there to see where he might be going. Pantheon is super aggressive, so it makes for a very easy kill. I timed that poorly, by the way. I kind of thought that he was going to flash as soon as I got onto him, so I would, teleport myself to him. And for whatever reason, this Hecarim gets a little bit too penisy and basically puts himself in a lot of danger. He thought he would be able to sneak up on me or something and kill me, but even if I didn't have Camille there, I probably would have just killed him myself. Hecarim became prominent in solo queue because of the buffs with Conquer and that kind of stuff, but it also brought a lot of players who don't know how to actually play Hecarim to the front. Essentially put, they don't understand that Hecarim's very, very, very weak in the early game when it comes to dealing with other junglers. Most of the time, what they get off on is, being able to burst people that they're in their ganks. So, I've been really, really upset with the wave of Hecarims that have been coming forward because it's just kind of sad to sort of punish them a lot and then them still be able to carry because my own teammates don't know how to deal with them. As you can see, he is going to get some gold and kill a few people because they don't understand. And this guy here too, this Sion is like, I totally can kill this Warwick if I jump him. But no, again, Warwick is a very deadly 1v1 duelist. It's just a lot of people keep forgetting that, and they get punished by it. So, thankfully, the two kills I have right now is pretty much letting me rampage a bit. I do love that gank. It technically counts as successful because it forced Sion to leave, but it technically didn't matter too much because Sion still took someone's flash away. So it was sort of like Sion conducted his own counter gank against a whole different lane. But that goes so much for players paying attention to the map. So yeah, either way, I use the explosive rune to get behind him. A good Ash arrow keeps him in place, that Sylas stole. I go on the Lux, and I don't even get an assist from the killing the Ash because I was focused on killing the Lux. I did that whole old shepherding trick where I knew the Ash was gonna die on her own by my own teammates, so I focused on the other target to make sure she died too. I used my ultimate on Sion, and it didn't really matter too much because Hecarim puts himself in super danger and saved his life, but whatever. For whatever reason, Sion decides to turn around and put his life again at super risk, which forces his teammates to come help him, and then it leads to Lux getting killed. Now, Sion and Ash are there with low health, but we really can't dive them. If I had my ultimate, I probably would have risked it, but instead, we settle with getting a red dragon. And right there, by the way, is where the first crash happens for the replay. So we got the red dragon, and then I got blue. And then we try to kill the Lux, but, she CC'd us and killed the Sylas, so yeah, sad days. I tower diver, though. It goes a little bit awkward because, she just CC'd me in place, but it doesn't matter. I invade to steal the red from the Hecarim. He's probably a little sad. I go flank the Sion, and unfortunately he's going to be very sad too. Kill him rather easily. Again, I've basically gained control of the map. If there's one thing that Warwick is really good at, although it doesn't really matter too much in, more organized play, is that you're good at globetrotting. And I use that word a lot, and I should probably finally define what I mean by globetrotting. And there I got a really good kill on the Hecarim, who I forgot to actually record that part. Thought he could fight me for a couple seconds and then realized really fast, you know what, this is stupid, and then tried to run away and died. So globetrotting is just a term I use a lot for when you're going up and through the map and just hitting a lot of sweet spots in the map. In this case, where I'm clearing out the chickens, I'm getting the scuttles, and except that one, or kind of getting the plants. Essentially, I'm hitting all the small little objectives. And that was another replay break, unfortunately, but at least it wasn't that many seconds. So yeah, globetrotting is always just a term I use for that I'm just kind of settling a lot. By the way, I like this ultimate I pulled off here, because it's kind of like the dream ultimate for Warwick. Unfortunately, it's not going to be the most effective, but it does look cool. Boom, you know, delivering your payload onto the enemy and still getting the ult off. We do kill the enemy Hecarim, but at this point, it does not really matter too much. We ended up giving out too many kills there. Well, 2 kills, 2 high value kills. So it's not actually good. And then my Sylas decides to go in and get himself killed. He does kill the Sion, but again, the Sion's kind of not worth anything, and he kind of was. So, well, he's not really worth anything either. What the hell am I talking about? By the way, though, Sylas is kind of an interesting champion because I don't think he's working exactly like Riot intended him to be working, but you know, he's working in one way, and I guess that's going to be what he's going to end up being it from now on. It's kind of funny when that happened in League of Legends, where, you know, Vi was supposed to be a laner, and then she worked better as a jungle, and then and thus that's just kind of what it becomes now. Right now, Pyke is working better as a laner, you know, in more competitive play. I mean, he works wherever you put him because he's just kind of a very annoying champion, but whatever. And whatever. Either way. Either way, right now, just trying to roam the map, trying to keep them down. At this point, they do have a chance to beat us because both team comps are kind of wonky, and we don't exactly have the strongest initiation. But we're beating them on just sheer outmaneuvering, because they're not exactly master tacticians or anything, so they're constantly putting themselves in bad positions for like me to flank them and kill them, and then my assassins picking them off. Basically, we're just winning this on just them being pretty dumb. Again, both team comps not the best. They've got strong initiation, more or less, with Hecarim and Sion, but they're not exactly the safest champions to have walking around or protecting anybody. Essentially, they don't really have much of a defense. They're pure offense, which allows them to get caught easily and just eviscerated. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic right now. Both teams having some glaring issues, but there's a lot more exploitable because if they slip up somehow, we just completely destroy them. It's like having somebody with some ridiculously beefy plate armor for their chest, leaving their, you know, lower regions completely exposed, so just have to flick their dick and they just stop, you know, they just lose. That's kind of how this is right now. We just have to, you know, slap them in the junk and they lose. Junk slap. There we go. That's a new term I'll probably use. They get easily ass blasted. Anyways, yeah. Essentially put, whenever one of them gets caught and it's pretty easy for us to catch them, they're just going to straight out lose. Here, like again, I'm just scouting for them, and the Ashe, for whatever reason, thinks that I'm somehow not threatening. So I easily ult her, just do all the damage, and then Jinx bombs her. And then comes Hecarim storming through, but it's like, I don't know what the hell that attempted, whatever that was. He comes back again and gets destroyed, but again, they don't have any sort of defensive qualities here. I'm going to have to reiterate this again because it's very important to get this through. They're extremely offensive, meaning if they jump in on us, they could destroy us really hard in a team fight, just absolutely destroy us. But because they have very few defensive options, like they only really have a Lux getting off a good Q and putting up a good shield, and maybe an Ashe ulting somebody, but that's not exactly, you know, what you really want to do. They have such weak defense that if we jump them in any kind of even mild advantageous position, they'll probably just straight lose. Like again, if we fight them intelligently, that whole Jinx shenanigans right there with my Fizz teammate was completely stupid. So that's how we'll lose. But yeah, we just catch them off guard, and the only option they have is to die. Sion here again. At this point, Sion's kind of just feeding. He's doing the whole split pushing thing, but it's not working for him. And in a situation like that, you probably should just change your habit. But anyways, I'm looking again to flank them. Warwick with Ghost is one of my favorite builds, mostly because I know a lot of people take Flash so they can flash ult. But with your Ghost, you can do a running flank with your W and your Fear. And if they don't respond to you well, then you can put them in a really bad position and then just tear them apart. And then they can Might Flash and you follow up with your ultimate. Here is a very completely poor fight for the enemy team. They just completely disengage in all different directions, seemingly out of position, which allows us just to just pick them off and destroy them. And then Sion charges in on us, which leads to him just dying very quickly. Again, they were really, really poorly structured. Or not really. Okay, let me reiterate that. They're not poorly structured because they do have a thing they can do, and that is engage hard. They just weren't doing that properly and leaving themselves up to being, just flanked and whatnot, which is their biggest weakness, by a colossal margin. And that's just kind of why they lost. They didn't play to their strengths, period. And that's it. So, with that said, obviously they're losing. We're pushing for the Nexus, and we win. Thankfully, I was able to get this video out, and it didn't crash as much as before. So, yay, this video was actually played about 2 weeks ago. Think about that. This replay business has been going on for quite a while. And if you liked this video, remember to give it a like. And if you aren't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure to hit the little bell up there somewhere so you actually get notifications to my videos, because YouTube and stuff.